think the chefs back there are ready to serve. And so I want to introduce our judging panel. And this is Jerry Simonetti.
Been in the business for 49 years. The pizzeria, I think, is number 9. First restaurant was in 1994, right after I graduated culinary in Boca Raton, Florida. Went back to New York, opened up Bistro Blue out in Greenport, Long Island. And we were top 41 in New York State. So that was a big deal. So then I moved here. I had 3 places in Gaston County. Had a bagel shop in Belmont, pizzeria, and then Lily's Italian Bistro in Gastonia. Been in the restaurant business, working my tail off for a long, long time.
So Charlie Ruffalo, who opened a sub shop.
Charlie didn't open up a little sub shop. Charlie and his 2 brothers started the Substation 2 franchise throughout America. So this man knows food. I've eaten with him. I've watched him.
Thank you, David.
There you go. I grew up in the restaurants. Started parking cars at 15 in my parents' Italian restaurant. We were about an hour out of New York City. Fine dining. On Mother's Day, we do 3,000 covers. We had 7 dining rooms, 8 bars. And that's what I grew up knowing. I mean, it was tuxedo waiters and waitresses. The New York City Giants would come down and eat with us. 75, my dad decided to sell the restaurant, and my sister was in Sumter, South Carolina, and said, there's no sub shops down here. Why don't you guys come open up a sub shop? I said, okay, what the hell, we'd give it a shot. And it just exploded. So it's been fun as far as eating all over the world, yes. Europe was our playground growing up. My dad and I traveled a lot to go snow skiing. And since then, probably Italy is my main stomping ground. So.
All right, so third judge has been a judge before. It's David Angel, and David went on after playing basketball at Clemson, played the European League, and he lived in France, he lived in Spain, and he lived in Italy. And
thank you, Dickie, for letting me be a part of this. I've been very blessed to have had wonderful meals. The thing that probably gives me the most credence to be a judge is I'm the biggest guy in the county, and I'm a professional eater and drinker. So I have experienced lots of different meals of every size, shape, and thing, and I look forward to describing this one tonight. I look forward to us enjoying it, so enough of me talking. Dickie, let's get back to eating.
I want to introduce our team leaders who are both professionals. Dewey Kirkland, and he right now works at the Foolish Frog in Frogmore, South Carolina. The other is Willie Terrell, who opened a restaurant in Frogmore, South Carolina, known for what? The Frogmore Stew, or Low Country Boil. When I talked to Dewey and I got his biography, I said, Dewey, you got the qualifications, I think, to call yourself a chef. And he says, I'd prefer that you call me a professional cook. Willie Terrell grew up in the restaurant. His mother owned a Jamaican restaurant. She was a Jamaican immigrant, and he grew up in the restaurant business. So Dewey Kirkland, right here, and Willie Terrell, these are you guys that are going to entertain you tonight.
So real quick, I got a chance to work with this outstanding man in the kitchen, and Dewey, you're definitely a professional chef. So I just want to set the record straight with that.
Yeah, for sure. You'll see it in a little bit.
I've never met this man before today, but I'm really looking forward to working with him professionally in the future, because his restaurant is a block away from where I work and about 3 miles away from where I live. And there is damn sure no reason why we can't get together and collaborate. And thanks to Skillet and Glass, I might never have met you. Yeah. I may never have. Yeah. Thank you, Dickie.
Look, thank both of y'all, and look, best of luck to both of you.
So you have a deconstructed mushroom risotto. All right, so I'm gonna work you up from the base. On the base, you got a basmati rice. On top of that is the stuffed portobello mushroom. What we did is we smoked these mushrooms first to get them nice and dry, and then we soaked that smoked mushroom in a vanilla kabawaba mixture. So we let that sit in there. We stuffed it with mozzarella cheese and baked it for a little bit. Brought it back out. We hit it with a Persino cheese, a richer type of cheese to kind of hold the flavor of the añejo versus the blanco. So on top of that mushroom, around it, you have your deconstructed Alfredo sauce, right, which is a spinach and Swiss chard Alfredo. Before we stuffed it with the feta, we added a salmon to it. So we put a salmon tartare. We stuffed that mushroom with a salmon tartare. Then we baked it with the feta, topped it with the cheese, and drizzled it with Alfredo. Please enjoy.
All right, guys, we've got a plantain and sweet corn croquette, a little bit of winter spices, some nutmeg and cinnamon in there, a sweet and spicy glaze over the top, some citrus braised baby carrots, and a salsa of sweet corn, cherry tomatoes, a little bit of cotija cheese, citrus in there, little seasonings, touch of champagne vinegar, and there we are.
Hey, I was curious about the plantain. Tell me a little bit more about what that is. I know you said it at first, but
Plantain blended with some corn cut fresh off the cob, good bicolored sweet corn. Blend that up with a few spices. Nothing very much else except a little tiny bit of cornstarch and a tad bit of flour, salt and pepper, just to hold it together. Quenelle it into the fryer, and it's just very, very simple.
what spices?
It's going to have nutmeg, cinnamon, a tiny bit of cardamom.
We're about to have the second plating from each team.
So this is one of our favorite dishes. This is a spin on collard greens. This is collard greens and caviar. Okay, so you have a sauteed collard green with spring onions. Inside of that, you have a jerk balsamic vinaigrette dressing. On the side, you have two cherry tomatoes split in half, tossed in that seasoning to kind of accentuate the meal, and then sprinkled and seasoned with a bit of a grilled salmon with a jerk marinade. So collard greens and caviar.
So what was it about the Casamigos that encouraged you to do this specific dish?
Well, the Casamigos we're using was añejo Casamigos, which means that it's sitting a little bit longer than a Blanco and has a robust profile. So we wanted to go with flavors that were more robust, that would match the añejo. So we've accentuated, maybe I should stop forgetting the little secret ingredient. So we actually, when we made these collard greens, we boiled it with a half a cup of our añejo tequila as well. So I don't know. We threw the liquor in there. Maybe that'll make it match.
So Dewey Kirkland's pairing with Casamigos Añejo.
Pork tenderloin. It's grilled and it's served over white pepper mashed potatoes. A little bit in the marinade on that pork tenderloin is some fresh chopped rosemary, a little tiny bit of nutmeg, salt, pepper, oil, and that's just about it. Tangerine goes with the arugula salad, and that's just a little bit of tangerine juice, oil, salt, pepper, touch of vinegar for more acidity because that's just a little too sweet for me. The white pepper mashed potatoes are just russets. They're boiled until they're super soggy, taken off the heat, and dried out until they leave a little bit of brown at the bottom just for some additional flavor. Blend that with some hot milk and butter to your liking, a little bit of salt, lots of white pepper, just so it's noticeable. There is a rosemary and citrus infused butter over the top of the potatoes and the pork.
What were the flavors and or aroma of the Casamigos that inspired this particular dish for you?
It was the menthol notes at the end of the alcohol where I brought in the rosemary for the pork tenderloin. There are obvious citrus notes, more along the lines of cooked citrus, maybe some really boozy pineapple. But the white pepper is definitely one of those things. There is black pepper across everything at the end, and the pepper notes should shine through.
So it's collard greens and caviar, but I didn't see the caviar, and I was expecting a little bit more salt content from the caviar, or maybe like a little fish. Now the salmon addition to that was wonderful, but I didn't get that kind of, you know how caviar gives you that bang. So I just didn't get that. So I was wondering where that caviar was, and I didn't see it. But the color contrast, you added the tomato, so thank you so much for adding color. So whenever I develop recipes and dishes, I use the Italian flag, red, white, and green. Doesn't have at least red, white, and green? Keep going. You know, I need something more. So thanks for that.
Typically, when I do this dish, I use Scotch bonnet lemon confit sauce, which is white. Then I'll use a salmon roe, which is red, right? So you actually would get your red, white, and green, which I think is spot on. We went with a black lumpfish, which has more of the fishy taste than the salty caviar taste, and also it doesn't. So it hides obviously in the collard greens and the sauce. Now you didn't hear this comment earlier, but the judge said it was a perfect salt level. I just want to throw that back out there. Because you didn't hear it, but I'll let him tell you. Hold on.
I am a saltaholic, and you just can't put enough salt on anything for me. This was outstanding, and I did taste the lumpfish, and because of that salt, it paired so well with the tequila. And that was the right tequila for this one, Dickie. So that was well done.
This is the last phase of the competition. The team captains have been challenged to make a margarita that pairs with a key lime brulee. So the judges will be judging, instead of on the dessert itself, they'll be judging on the margaritas. And the margaritas are both made with Jose Cuervo tequila. The challenge is to present the notes into the margarita that pair with a key lime brulee.
I'm gonna try to sound like I knew what I was doing back there when I made this. All right. So this is a ghost pepper margarita with a lime topping, salt sugar rim glass. So it's a ghost pepper margarita.
You're supposed to squeeze the lime in there, or just leave it at garnish?
So you're supposed to shoot it, take a shot, lick the side of the glass, and then suck on the lime, and try to look manly when you execute that.
Mr. Dewey, you want to talk about it a little bit?
So you know it's Cuervo as the tequila base. We do have pineapple juice, some fresh squeezed clementine and lime, a little tiny bit of salt, some brown sugar, and some vanilla to try and bring out some of that brulee flavor.
The judges have graded and conferred with one another. I'm going to start the first critique with Jerry Simonetti.
I approach things a little bit different. I've done a lot of 4- and 5-star restaurants. Color is a big thing, contrast is another, textures, and I like height on my dishes. Great philosophy on the portobello. I think it could have been cooked a little bit more. And whenever I'm judging, I take a little bit of each individual component of the dish, and then I eat it all together, like you should. So the seasoning on the portobello, I like the smoke. The rice had no flavor. The sauce really could have had some more flavor as far as seasoning. But once you put everything together, it ate really well. So you get that sharp bite of the cheese. I thought helped the sauce, the rice, smoothed out that smoke. But I still think that portobello could have been done a little bit more. On the plantain, I would have made it. I understand the croquettes. I've made croquettes pretty much my whole life, but I wouldn't have deep fried it. I think plantains are very dense and very thick. So to lighten that up, I probably would have done it in a pan, made it more of like pan roasted or pan fried, and fried it a little bit less in the middle, a little bit more on the outside. Made it kind of crispy on the outside. The corn was good, a little bit under-seasoned for me. The drizzle was really, really good. Really, really good. So whoever made that, whatever you did to that, that was awesome. That kind of made the whole dish. Your collard greens, again, I couldn't and didn't see that, I didn't get that pop that I wanted from that, from the roe. But that was, together, was an amazing dish. If you ate everything together, that was great. That was a great dish. That's definitely a menu item. The potatoes on your pork, if you're doing arugula, which is a black pepper enhanced vegetable, I don't know why you would do another component on the dish with pepper. So you might have done maybe a little bit more vinegar or lemon vinaigrette with the arugula to bring that more peppery pop out, less pepper, and maybe more butter in your potatoes. The pork was perfectly cooked. I would have taken a little bit of that citrus vinaigrette with a little bit more vinegar or lemon juice and poured it maybe over, maybe spiced up the outside of that pork a little bit, and then poured some of that vinaigrette over the top of that pork. And that would have all three components. They all ate good, but I think separately you were just kind of missing. Plus, on both your guys' dishes, you have at least three components. You need a little bit of height on your dishes. People eat with their eyes first, so, and adding that little height component rather than a meat and two is different style plating. On your margaritas, I got to tell you, Dick, your key lime pie took the lead on that. Wherever Dick, oh, there you are. That was the star of the show tonight. Was the key lime pie. I don't know who bruleed it, but you need some lessons on brulee. But as far as your margaritas, this was a little bit too sharp. I probably gave you a little bit too much alcohol, but that pineapple took the cake for me. That was really a great addition to go with the sugar and that was good. That pineapple was amazing.
Well, how do I follow that? You know, that's a difference. He's a chef. I'm just a guy who likes food. I don't get into all those details that he did. The mushroom risotto was good. I felt the rice to me was gummy and really not a lot of flavor. But I liked the presentation. I thought you did a good job presenting that. It paired well with the tequila. I enjoyed those two pairing. I think you did a good job with that. The plantain, I'm a plantain fan. I've never had it prepared like that. I like the idea. Again, I agree that it was probably fried too hard. Onto the collard and caviar. I enjoyed the hell out of that. I thought it was very creative the way you put together all the ingredients in there. Again, I would have liked that more caviar pop to it too. And that spice at the end really worked for me. The pork tenderloin, nothing special. It was a pork tenderloin. It was tasty. I love the smoke flavor with it. It was cooked perfectly. It was nice and tender. But that's something I can do at home. And when I go out to eat, that's not what I look for. The mashed potatoes, again, were cold. The peppery really stood out. On to the margaritas. They were both pretty damn good. I enjoyed the pineapple aspect of this one. And I think that went well with whatever the hell Dickie made with that creme brulee thing. But I enjoyed the frozen aspect of the other margarita. The ghost pepper really didn't add heat because of the frozen, but it added I don't know what the taste was, but it added an interesting dead-end taste to it, I think is the way I describe that.
First of all, fantastic. Absolutely great, guys. Thank y'all so very, very much for participating in this, because this was incredible dishes. They really were. I'm going to set this up as Chef A, which was the first ones we saw, which was the mushroom, and then the collard greens, and the frozen margarita. With those, I think to Charlie's point, would have been so much better had we had those hot. But the spinach with the sauce, great taste, and even though it was cold, the rice was still kind of fluffy. I like that. The mix of the colors with the green and the shrimp, I guess that was spinach, and with that sauce was a nice look. So presentation, very, very good there. I thought my mushroom was cooked just fine. It went very, very well with the tequila. It had a little bit of a taste that seemed to be matched up well with the tequila. And the second dish where we had the salmon in with the collards, that was just a special dish. Really, really liked that. That was awesome. I tasted the lumpfish. Again, would like to see more color, but you threw some color in there, so, in the future, maybe a little more color might help that. But I really enjoyed that dish. The taste was excellent. Moving to Chef B, and with that, the pork tenderloin, it matched up well with the tequila. The tangerine was a great touch with that pork. Where's he at? There, over there. I thought the tangerine gave it a great taste. It just gave me a little something special on the taste. I really like that. I would put those two dishes equal, but the creativity and the fact that I love caviar so much, I kind of got to lean towards caviar. So the ground plantain, great idea. I've never had that. I just thought that was a clever way to do that. As far as the two drinks, normally I'm not a big frozen guy, but that frozen was good. I like the flavor of the pepper. Normally I'm a straight up margarita guy. Throw me a little Grand Marnier on top. Straight up, I'll do flavored every once in a while. The pepper was a nice touch. My only problem with that was there was too much salt on the glass. I had to fight by that to get to the taste. So it wasn't until the third or fourth time I tried to taste it that I got past all the salt so I could taste it. Whereas on the other one, a little bit lighter, but what a nice touch. The winner is Chef A. Chef A, here.
So, gentlemen, I consider this the best competition that we've had yet. Not only do I consider the competitors, the team leaders, and their sous chefs, but I consider this panel as being a panel that really dissected this competition better than I've seen since we started. And to the winners and the losers, okay? And this is something that one of our members said, guys, I want to tell you that it's not how well you cook and how it tastes and this, that, and on all of the other things that you would be judged on, is that you had the guts to get up there in front of everybody and prepare a meal for them and be out there being judged on it. And I thought that was maybe the best comment that I had ever heard from any judge, including these guys who were great tonight. I think this is the best competition that we've had, and it's only going to get better.
Mr. Glass.
Love you, baby. Good job, man. I decided early on with Skillet and Glass that the winner of the competition would be the Skillet, and the loser would be the Glass. Here's our winner, Willie Terrell. Our winners, Willie Terrell and Kristen Beach, and they're gonna take the Skillet, and they're gonna smash the Glass. Y'all hold it together. Hold it together. Hold it. No. Hold it by the handle. Together. Yeah, there you go. Are you ready? Go. All right, see if it smashed. Great. So the winners have smashed the glass. The Smashdown is officially over.